So I have the yard sale Recumbent bike up in the rack. I'm just taking a better look at it. I just put it in the other garage for a while until I had a chance, and the chance is now. So I figure we can kind of get into it. So it looks like, you know, this is it has a gas-powered engine on it, 43cc kicker type motor. I believe it is a 2-stroke, and that's a kit that was added onto it. And some of the stuff that I see is the chain is not going around the back derailleur, tied up out of the way. It has a whole bunch of gear that was in bags, kind of mirrors and hardware kit and side saddle bags and a bunch of other stuff that aren't in here right now. It does have a this probably is a speedometer gauge and a bunch of other stuff tied to it. You follow the wires down, it comes down to the front wheel, and there's like an inductive pickup right here. I'm spinning the wheel around, and look, there's a trigger, but I have a feeling that someone put the tire on backwards, that is supposed to be on this side, and causing the issues that you see there. It's like the tire was inflated when it was sitting on the ground. I did that. So got to deflate and reflate that tire, get rid of that wobble that's in there. But I figure we can kind of start setting it up. We'll put the gear back together correctly. We'll cut that tie wrap off, put the tires on, and do a function check on everything and make sure all that stuff works. And then maybe we'll dive into that motor and see how that thing runs with it. That may or may not stay on there. I may take that off of there, and I may try riding this. I don't really plan on keeping it though. I think I will try and sell it. I'm dangerous enough with handlebars that are in front of me. I can imagine what it's like when they're underneath the seat. I also see this white string kind of going up to here. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be doing. So let me get set up. We'll start popping the rear wheel off and see if we can get some stuff functional. Now the brakes should be fairly easy to unhook. Generally you kind of squeeze them together and should be able to take the cable off. Let's see how that works. There we go. That's that guy. See if we can get the back wheel right off of it. We should cut that tie wrap off of there. We'll get the chain to flop down and see if we can lace that back in there like it should. Let's get rid of that. Which way do we need to be? I think that needs to be something like that. I think what gear it's in is fighting me. See if I can pop that up another tooth or two. Putting up a fight. Try to loosen it a little bit more. There we go. I think that's it. Take some of the slack out of it. Too tight. We'll go with that. And let's see if we can kind of pedal it. And will everything decide to line itself up? One long chain, huh? Let's see what the shifter is for the back one. Is it this one? gears. Looks like that's out of adjustment because that won't go anymore. You're only getting into like third gear. So I don't know if the cable's just out of whack or it took a slide. The other way. And back up. Yeah, it seems like it's just got no more after that. But the actually I think it's on the indicator. Because the indicator is showing that it's in the middle gear, that it's not all the way up. So I don't think it's the back derailleur, I think it's something over here. See what I'm talking about? See how that is, and you're going this way. That's it. It should be able to come all the way up to here, and it's not. So I think there's something wrong inside here. And the brakes I never hooked back up. So let me get the brakes hooked back up, and maybe we'll look into what's going on with this guy. So I hooked the brakes back up, but the problem is right now, I've got to spin the wheel, kind of stopping on its own. This brake shoe is not touching at all, but the other side is dragging real hard, and you squeeze the brakes. That one stays dead against the wheel, and this one does not. So it needs to kind of have the pressure be equal. So the only adjustments I see are right down here. So I figure we'll try turning that one way or the other and see if it makes an improvement or not. Let's see if we can get that guy. Let's see. That made it worse. Better, but it's still touching. Kind of touching. Let's see if the other side can go more. Yeah. Looks like it got worse to me. Let's try. Something feels like it's not set up right. This spring has no tension on it. Something's wrong with it. Is that on the wrong side of it? It's just got nothing. Yeah. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's got no you look right here, this is the spring. It's backed way off, but it still kind of comes up to the post and touches it. On this one, it's like it's not even doing anything at all. Yeah, I see this is the adjustment for it. Need that guy to come away. I wonder if you should just take that spring. That's the adjustment all the way in. Now I'm going to break it. We just do some. How's that? Someone's probably yelling at me. No, you just rotate them. I'll rotate them. Here we go. Just needs to be manhandled a little. Now we got that. And the other thing is, when you squeeze the lever gets drawn all the way up to the hand grip when it applies the brake. There's an adjuster on it but I don't think we're going to be able to get enough. I think we need to just pull a little bit more cable. There we go. It's actually loose. I bet you somebody took it apart and didn't know. Here we go. As long as it's still free. I'm going to go back and now fine-tune these springs to get it so that when it releases, it's not touching the wheel on either side. Let's see how that does for us. And hopefully it doesn't touch. Good. Fixed. And I figure we'll go over to this side. We'll see how wacky the front derailleur is and see how that plays. Right now it's showing on the indicator that it's in the middle, which it is. Let's see if that'll. So that one. That one. Does not quite want to get that top one though. Goes all the way down. Goes to there. And not the top one. I still think it's in the selectors though, because you know that's all tied right to here, and if you try to go any further, shake can. Yeah, if you try going any further, that's it. It'll go down back to the low gear, but it needs to be able to climb all the way up to here, and it doesn't seem like it makes one click, but then it just does not want to do the next one. So I'm not quite sure why it's is or is not doing that on both sides. I bet you there's a little cam on the inside of there that's just kind of out of whack that needs some the paws maybe lubed up. So I'm going to look into what we need to do to take them apart. Actually, I see an adjuster there too. I wonder if that has anything to do with it, the high and the low. Maybe we'll try playing with that first and see what happens. What do you think? Yes, no, maybe? What we got to lose? Alright, let's see if that guy does anything for us. Let's go out like 2 turns. It just popped right out of there. That looks like an area you're supposed to shoot lube in there. That's what that is. That's just an oil port, not an adjustment at all. Guess that's not gonna work. Actually popped that seat right out of our way. That made for a lot easier vision to see on this thing. But again, it's so that's on the lowest derailleur on the front. Clicks one, and then you go to click the second one. It just doesn't have it. So I don't know if there's a paw in there that's just not catching. Is my thing. So I don't know if we just want to try shooting some oil in there, or do we actually want to go take it apart and see what makes it click on the inside. I know you guys want to see what makes it click on the inside, don't you? But I'm going to try giving it a little yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll open it up. What the hell? Let's go in. I actually loosened up the main part of it and spun it so that it's laying flat, just for us to have a better chance of gravity being on our side, so all little parts come flying out of it. So, yeah, little tiny Phillips screws. A little Loctite on them too. I'm willing to bet that's what it is. It's just like a cam that's bound up in grease, and it's just not turning. And that's just a guess on my part. You ready? Ready for stuff to go flying? You guys watch. Make sure that you let me know where the pieces go. I wonder if that center comes out of there under that. Oh, it's scary. Feels like a bunch of stuff is connected. I wonder if that metal comes out. What do you guys think? Let me see. I'll shut you off by accident. Bunch of gooey parts in there. I do not see what will or will not cause its issues. I'm debating whether we spray some stuff in there. Should take you around. Let me take you around. Now you can kind of see what I see. Doesn't really look like it's like dried up grease. It still seems pretty tacky and gooey. Just seems like one of those cams aren't doing what it's supposed to be doing. I think I'm gonna try spraying some something up inside there and see if just whatever one of these paws are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think that's probably what it's gonna be. I hit it with some PB Blaster. Let's go throw one screw back in it and we'll see if we can kind of like cycle it back and forth some, see if it'll come back to operation. Where do we want to go? That's one click. Feels like it wants to go. Let me rotate the wheel. There it goes. Let's try it again. Middle gear and top gear. Ha! Yeah, I think it's just a just suffering from non-use. So I think I'll do the same on the other side. Maybe, hopefully, both of those will come back. So our back brakes work. Good. All right, go throw the screws back in it, put that plug back in it, and we'll go jump over the other side, see if we can do the same. All right, I rotated it back down to its normal position and put all the screws in it. Right now it's in top gear. It actually indicates it. Let's go for middle and low, and middle and low. And let's see if my clock and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1. All right. Good. Tighten that guy up the rest of the way. And move to the other side. So taking this one apart, let's just see if we can take that little access plug out of there and we'll spray right in there. I think I got PB Blaster. We'll shoot some PB in there and work that around and see if that'll be enough to free up. Whoops. Its issues, and we'll try it again. Let's go, and what are we doing? Still not grabbing. Let's go work it a couple of times. There it goes. Yeah, now it's in top gear. It's got them all. Alright. That was an easy fix. Everything's shifting like it should now. We start chasing some of the other issues. I don't know why this string is on here. I don't know what the deal is with that. So I just say, possibly get rid of it. That's that noise that you're hearing. The chain was rubbing on it. That guy is gone. And it was also kind of wrapping around the cable a little bit here too for the rear derailleur. Just make sure everything's still kind of functioning. Yeah, bottom gear. Next one. Next one. Next one. And then the top. And the indicator looks like it's doing what it should be doing too, so that runs the full spectrum now from low to high. One thing I was also kind of noticing too is in some of the lower gears, they have the cables going through. Stop that. They have the cables going through between the chains. I would think they would have run that down here. I don't understand what the purpose is here, because when the front derailleur is all the way down in the low, it's rubbing on it. You can even see this one's rubbing on it right now too, which is what? Oh, that's the motor cable. So that's an aftermarket kind of deal. But I don't know why they took and ran those guys up through there. You think it would just come right down through here, wouldn't you? And that tie wrap does not look like it's a factory kind of deal. They would have... Yeah, that's kind of wacky. You know, you're going to go make a ride, you can be just grinding that stuff into the chain. Right? You agree? I don't know, I think we should probably come down through here somewhere and over. If that was there, would that hit? Because they terminate right there. I could probably just slide these two guys right off the hand grip, feed them through, and come out the other side. Let's go cut these tie wraps off and try to come up with a better solution. I wish I had a manual for the bike, how this stuff was kind of run, to make sure that all that is done correctly. You know, this isn't supposed to be down below it or something, you know. Just don't know. I don't know. So let's take a closer look at that back wheel, and I ended up taking it apart because it just wasn't fitting up where the old marks were when it was clamping down. And you get these little springs that go on there that kind of push the nut away when you back off on it. But this side had two of them on it. It had that chrome one and the black one. The other side, you'll see it just has a black one on there. And so that looks okay, but the other side had two, one facing in and one facing out, but the white one, the chrome one, was facing this way, and it was going over the threads and not allowing it to seat all the way up in the saddle. So I don't know if somebody just kind of screwed up and put that in there, and it should not be there. That's what I'm thinking. I think it should be like that, and then the nut goes back over that. And then I'm going to try sucking it all the way up, and I bet you that's probably why my brake adjustment was so far out of whack, because the wheel wasn't sitting square. Yep, that's definitely what it was, because now my brakes are rubbing again, and it's favoring the other side. And I wish I would have caught that first. I was wondering, like I was even looking at the kicker motor, and the wheel was not sitting in the center of the tire; it was offset. So now I know why. So I'm going to go undo and tweak and adjust those brakes, get them back in the realm of where they're not touching again. And just tweaking up a couple of screws, got us back in business. And I think it was having a problem before because this adjuster, you can't even see what I'm pointing at, can you? This adjuster right here was cranked all the way out and the other one was all the way in. So I think it was like that, and they just weren't getting it also. So now we're back in alignment. So all that issue is taken care of. What do we want to jump to next? Maybe we'll take the air out of that front tire and we'll get that sitting on the bead correctly. See if we can get that tire flipped around, because I do believe this is supposed to be on the other side. Anyways, I gotta undo the brakes yet. Alright. Way too much stuff going on. The brake shoes won't allow it to drop down until you let them split. You can tell I don't race bikes, do you? You try it 1.5 inches. There it goes. I think. Damn it. So close. There it goes. Let's see if we can undo that. See if that'll drop out, and see if we can spin that around and will that line up correctly. If it hits it, then I know I got it backwards. Let's get that guy up in there. And yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be, like that. I'm going to run that back in, and we'll get the little quick lock. About there. I think we should let the air out of the tires. Have you guys ever seen this? You know, on the higher end bikes, they have these, not a Schrader valve. There's another name for it. Let me see if I can get you. I'll get you set up better. Yeah, I forget. There's another name for this style of valve, tire valve. And what it has is it has another like nut on the inside, and then you can push it down, allow the air to come out. I'll let that tire pop free from the rim. I had filled it when it was on the ground, and of course, because of doing that, it left a lump in it. So let's go see if we can get that guy free. Let it float, and we'll try pumping it back up. Let's see if it'll go. It has this kind of pump. It just goes over that whole assembly. Lock it down and look good. I'm looking at the white wall going around, just trying to see if that white wall looks really even. It does. Insert joke here. You gotta get this guy off of there. And then you got to take the stem and run that thing back in again without hitting it, and that keeps that kind of like forces it not to get pushed in to hold the air. It's a positive lock on the stem. See what that looks like now. Better. You still got a lump in it. I'm gonna try redoing it one more time. We'll get it. Let's get those tie wraps off. I took an air gun, blew the grip off, and then just unclamped both of the controllers there, the brake and the shifter. Let's get rid of this setup and see if we can fish that on the bottom side of the chain, which to me just seems like a more correct way to do it. But may or may not. It may be just as much in the way, but we're going to find out right now. So what if we did that, let that wrap down to there, and we slip these guys back on. Which one was first, the shifter? Let's go with the shifter, and then the brake lever. Now if we were to take, I wonder if we should run them down behind the handlebar, back down in here, more straight down. What do you think? Try it? Let's try it. Let's try them like that. Like that. I think if we do something that kind of helps, maybe even a tie wrap to that, all the way that direction is getting away. I don't know, that looks pretty good. What do you think? Definitely better than the other setup that was there. Yeah, so we're running them down. I can see it kind of like touching this wheel a little bit. I think we got to kind of come off of that because that guy's going to be spinning. I think that's just more out of harm's way. Been nice to get like a picture of something. I wonder if you tie wrap it right to there. Yeah, it looks like it should be pretty good if I do that. Put a tie wrap right there. Because it looks like they already put something here to keep it from the chain from rubbing when you make a full turn. Actually, how much turn are you gonna be able to do? That's gonna be underneath the seat, so that's probably max. So yeah, we'll put one more tie wrap there. Does it go all the way the other way? Something like that. Tug them down a little bit. Yeah, right there looks good. Alright, so we'll do that, and I should get that out, and maybe we could possibly put the seat on and see if we can kind of make sure everything clears. So I grabbed the little gauge that was on the handlebars there, and I'm sure the battery's probably dead. Figure we'll open that up and see if we can make that spring back to life. I don't know if we're going to have a battery for it, but no battery in it at all. That would do it. So let's think a nickel will power it. Let's see if it says anywhere on there what that is, and I might have one up in my hoard. Well, I am going with the guesstimation that a 2032 might be it. Let's see what we get. Fits in the hole. It's the right way. Yeah. I don't see any contacts on this side, so let's see if we can get that guy back in there. See if it's lit. There we go. Still got the protector screen on it. Let's just shove it on the bike and spin the wheel and see what it does. Is that the, what's the on-off switch? Speed. Does it turn itself off if it just doesn't see motion after a while? Does it turn itself off at all? It kind of looks like the on-off button on a phone, doesn't it? We hold it. No. Alright, let's go see if the speedometer works. I need to kind of precariously mount it up there. See if you can slip this thing back in. And register anything? Says we're doing 23 miles an hour. Is that miles an hour? Kilometers? It does something, so I guess that proximity is all functioning. That was easy. So it looks like everything's pretty decent to go on the bike. It kind of clears. The handlebars clear the best they're going to clear. And it's hitting that stupid bottle holder. Of course, it's hitting the stand on this side. But good enough, I guess, to put it around. But I figure what we're going to go do is maybe we'll try this gas engine and we'll see how this thing runs or doesn't run, or what the deal is with that. It's got some homemade controls on the front. This appears to be the throttle, and this is like the engagement lever. You flip this thing up all the way over and it drops down onto the tire. And I don't know how well that is to turn on and off, but we'll give her a shot. Let's see if it'll run for us. I'll put some gas in it. We'll prime the primer bulb. Which way is choke? I think that's choke. No, that's choke. No. That's it. So put some gas in it. We'll see if these fuel lines and stuff are any good, and see if that motor will run for us. Let's see how difficult it is to get the gas in there. Fortunately, it was empty. Yeah, I don't know how long this thing sat, but we'll go throw some. No alcohol, 40-1 in her. And let's see if we can get the primer bulb to do its thing. Those little carbs have a tendency for the diaphragms to harden up over time. Primer. I see something going through the fuel line. They feel very stiff though, very ancient. What do you think? Contact? I don't know what is full throttle and what is no throttle. I would say that's probably throttle. See what that does. Oh, turn the choke off. Nice and quiet. Nice little motor. You say we try putting it in gear, see what happens. Something's out of adjustment. Like right there. It's got to come down a little lower though. If you don't know. Let's work on, because that was, it actually was in gear, so we got to try to get it so that it comes down further on the tire. So that's in gear, that's relaxed, and now you can see I can stick my finger through the gap. So we got to figure out just a way to drop that down a little bit more, and it should be able to drive the rear tire. Let me work on that. There's this makeshift setup here. Again, that's the throttle, and this is the lever that I guess you pull down to pop it into gear. I'm going to just try choking up on this a little bit, the adjustments all the way in, see if we could just pull a little bit more cable. Again, it looks kind of crude and rude as far as that setup is. I think you could come up with a better lever than that, right? But let's go and we'll tweak that out some more, see if it brings down enough to bite the tire, and bite the tire with some tension. So I adjusted that, but that's not enough. We got to work with something else. So just seems like the whole thing's kind of bindy and really tight to try to pull down. I don't know if these pivot points are just maybe a little too tight or what it is. I'm looking down here, I could see that it was a different hole was hooked up at one point. I'm looking at that guy. That guy right there, you can see it was down lower at one point. So I have a feeling it was some trial and error on his point. I also wonder, I see that little hole there, if we could take this bracket and flip it around, it'll drop it down half the distance between, say, these two holes. I think this is going to be too much and put it right on the tire. But for now, I'm going to go around, I'm just going to loosen some of this stuff up and see if this whole knuckle will kind of pivot a little bit better. It seems like an awful lot of energy to try to do it. Alright, so I probed around, loosened stuff up, and tried moving things into some kind of orientation, and I am not finding a good way to get that to have a nice smooth motion where it kind of drops up and down, you know, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. And to be honest, I don't think that he ever got it that way neither with what is here. I think he tried, but there's some kind of like plastic thing up inside here, and then that has a spring in it, and that's like the return, so when you back off it's supposed to pop up back off the wheel, but it just seems like you fight that way too much to get it to do what it needs to do, and it seems like it just kind of runs into other hardware and stuff is rubbing on the sides much more than it should. So I think I'm going to do a little homework on that at a later date. We'll look up the engine and see if I can find like an online something how that's supposed to be hooked up. This may be just a bunch of stuff that is conglomerated together maybe by him, or something is just put together incorrectly. I think I can get it, I just don't want to spend the time on it right now, and maybe we'll make that for another video, the gas powered part of it. I figure I'm going to try taking it off the stand and actually put it up and down the driveway, see if I can screw up my other wrist. I say we try the Maiden Voyage and see how it goes. This ought to be sketchy. For the record, no, I've never ridden one of these. Even getting on, it's kind of... I guess you gotta have confidence in the takeoff. That's weird. Well, the faster you go, the easier it is. But it's that bit of confidence. I'm going from feet on the ground to feet on the bike and pedaling. All right, it does work. I need a nice empty parking lot to go putter around. But feels nice and soft. I didn't get the chance to go through the gears or anything, but it's pretty cool. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm out of breath for that. It seems pretty cool. We'll probably do another video on this, of course. We'll get the engine all set up and running, but I got to get some time under it as far as pedaling it too. Yeah, I got it in the garage with the garage door closed. Get rid of the street noise. It's rush hour. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to actually kind of get it to like an open parking lot or something and get a little bit of speed on it, go through the gears and just get used to it. But you can kind of see how comfortable it is. You can push on the pedals as hard as you want, and you're pushing up against the back of the seat instead of your body rising up out of the seat like a regular bike, you know. So I don't know about clipping my feet into the pedals. That's something that this thing came with was clip-ons with the shoes and the pedals. I don't know if I'd be that brave, not right away anyway. But it does seem like it's a fun bike, and it's you know, nice high-end stuff. Just need a little bit of tweaking here and there. And the motor runs. We just got to get all that linkage in the back kind of squared away and set up. That part of it would be good. But again, I think I just want to concentrate on learning how to ride the bike. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the future of it. More than likely, I'm going to sell it. But you know, doesn't say we can't have some fun with it while we own it, right? So guys, with that, I'm going to sign this one off. I thank all of you so much for watching, comment, subscribing. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. See ya. Hey guys, this is the engine. The last two videos I did were an engine swap from a dead tractor to make a decent tractor out of two of them. This is the blown up engine that was taken off of the tractor that is now a survivor. So I figured we'll go take it apart and we'll go see what actually happened to it. I figured I'd turn the camera on because a couple of guys are asking. So let's go in. See if it'll come out now. Let's switch over to air power. I'll get the head bolts off. I have no air. Hold on one second. I now have air. Hey, let's go buzz those bolts out. I want to keep that cylinder head anyway. Throw it in the spares if it's decent. There we go. Got a blown head gasket. Go figure, right? See the gasket blown out right there. But again, we're just looking for the cylinder head to throw in the storage. The block, I believe, is going to be shot. But yeah. Again, burnt out. So let's see. We can kind of. I wonder if I can get like a drive a screw or something in there, and we'll pull that piston right out of there. Let me see if I can dig out. See if we could drill a hole in the center of it, and we'll just stick a screw in it. I get a drill bit now. Let's pick a screw. And yeah, I know that piston's no good. Trust me, I'm not going to save it for anything. Yeah, see if we can fit a screw in there. And then grab the screw with a pair of vice grips and just give it a tug, and hopefully it should come out with the severed connecting rod, which I expect to see. What do you think? Think I got it enough? Let's see if this works. There's your problem. So more than likely the connecting rod was seizing on the crankshaft, and then it just got so stressful it broke the connecting rod. Actually, let me get you a light. We'll look inside together and we'll see the carnage. This is why I don't bother opening this stuff up. Once it throws a rod, it's pretty much junk. It's just not worth the cost of fixing this stuff. So you can see that there's part of the connecting rod sitting down there, and where it would normally be attached to, you could also see the rod behind it. I don't know if it's got a counterbalance shaft in that or coming off the camshaft. You could probably reach in there and grab the broken part. Yep, that's exactly what happened. So you probably ran low on oil or it overheated or both. The connecting rod started seizing on the crank, put so much stress on it that she just let go and did the rest of the damage. And usually it kind of smashes some stuff up on the inside too. So well, that's it. That's the death of that. No more journal looks pretty toasted also. So I'm going to take the starter off of it, and then the rest of it can just go in the scrap heap, because that's what it is. Scrap.